The Murder of Sharon Tate and the Manson Family Murders, a night of unimaginable terror that shocked the nation. It was the summer of 1969, a time of peace, love and counterculture. But one night in August, that idyllic image shattered forever. Hollywood's rising star, Sharon Tate, and 4 others were brutally murdered in a crime so horrific it seemed ripped from a nightmare. Behind it all, a charismatic cult leader named Charles Manson, who convinced his followers to kill in his name. This is the chilling story of how a deadly ideology led to one of the darkest chapters in American history. Sharon Tate was a promising young actress, married to famed director Roman Polanski. On the night of August 8, 1969, Tate, who was 8 months pregnant, hosted friends at her home in Benedict Canyon, Los Angeles. In the early hours of August 9, Charles Manson's followers Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian broke into the home. What followed was a scene of unthinkable brutality. Tate and her friends, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent, were tied up and savagely murdered. Tate, pleading for the life of her unborn child, was stabbed 16 times. The killers left behind a chilling message, scrawling the word PIG in Tate's blood on the front door. The next night, Manson sent his followers to another residence, where they killed Leno and Rosemary LaBianca in a similarly gruesome fashion. The Los Angeles police were initially baffled, with no clear motive or suspects. However, a break came when Susan Atkins, while in custody on unrelated charges, bragged to fellow inmates about the murders. This led investigators to the Manson family, a commune of disillusioned young followers living on a dilapidated ranch in the California desert, all under the spell of Charles Manson. Manson had convinced his followers that a race war, which he called Helter Skelter, inspired by a Beatles song, was imminent. He believed these murders would spark the chaos necessary to ignite the war and bring about his twisted vision of a new world order. The trial of Charles Manson and his followers began in 1970 and became a media circus. Manson, with his wild eyes and swastika carved into his forehead, captured public fascination and horror. Key moments included testimony from Linda Kasabian, who had acted as a lookout and later became a key witness for the prosecution. The chilling, remorseless behavior of Manson and his followers in court, including bizarre outbursts and coordinated displays of loyalty to their leader. The evidence and testimonies were damning. In 1971, Manson and his co-defendants were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. However, their sentences were later commuted to life in prison when California temporarily abolished the death penalty. Charles Manson remained behind bars until his death in 2017, never showing remorse for his crime. His followers, including Susan Atkins and Patricia Krenwinkel, also served life sentences, with most dying in prison. Sharon Tate's family, particularly her sister Deborah Tate, became vocal advocates for victims' rights, ensuring that the memory of Sharon and the other victims was not forgotten. The Manson family murders were not just a crime, they were a symbol of lost innocence in America. They marked the end of the 1960s dream and a grim reminder of how easily charisma and manipulation can turn deadly. Justice was served, but the scars of that terrifying night remain etched in history.